Hello, good evening, and welcome to Face Off. I am Nelta Egbe. Now, Nigeria's Supreme Court on Friday, December the 13th, 2013, cleared Chief Bode George and 5 others of corruption when it overturned an earlier conviction in Lagos of the chieftain of the PDP and his colleagues that were members of the board of the Nigerian Ports Authority. Now, the Apex Court in its verdict said contract splitting for which they were convicted was not an offence known to Nigerian law. This conviction it came as a shock to many Nigerians who see this as a further setback in the fight against corruption. Now, several stakeholders, including the former President Olusegun Obasanjo, have raised alarm over the increasing wave of corruption in Nigeria. The verdict is definitely considered by many a major blow to the EFCC that usually sees that conviction as a victory in its battle against graft in Nigeria. But the question is, what is the implication of this decision or judgment by the Supreme Court? I mean, in the future, years from now, what's the precedent that has been set? Is it something that should be held on to, or are there lessons that can be drawn from this conviction on both sides, from the courts, from the judiciary, from the graft agency? How do we move forward from here? That's what we're looking at today on Face Off. The Supreme Court judgment, the effect it will have on Nigeria today, tomorrow. And I have 2 gentlemen in the house, 2 senior lawyers, Mr. G.T. Ogunye, thank you for coming on the program.
It's my pleasure to be here.
And Mr. Tunde Kloawale, thank you for coming on the program.
Me.
Well, gentlemen, in 20 seconds each, if you can summarize your stance, then we'll take a break and we'll come back, we'll continue the conversation. So let me begin with you.
Well, the maxim or the principle of law is to the effect that it is better for 100 criminals, so to say, to escape judgment than for one single person to be sent to prison for an offense for which he knew nothing about. I have read the Supreme Court judgment, and I'm of the firm conviction that the EFCC didn't do a thorough job, and that this is a wake-up call for them to be more meticulous in the prosecution of their cases.
Thank you.
Yeah, my view is that the judgment of the Supreme Court leaves much to be desired. My view is that the judgment didn't quite capture the essence of the prosecution's case as logically and reasonably presented before the trial court and the Court of Appeal. And the departure from the 2 decisions of the 2 lower courts is strange, and it stands as one-off in the expectation of cases that ought to be determined in a particular manner with certainty.
Okay. All right, we'll take a break now, and when we can come back, we'll continue with this conversation. The Supreme Court's ruling, the effects, and what it implies as concerning the war against graft. You can be a part of the conversation. Send your mails to faceoff@channelstv.com or your tweets to @faceofftoday or @Nelta Egbe. Now, the hashtag to use is GraftWar. So please keep the conversation. Let's keep it alive. We'll be back shortly. Don't go away.
If you are looking for a property that fits your pockets, Graft guarantee you a property. With over 7 estates completed successfully, with a profile of consistent and timely delivery in Lekki, Ikorodu, Pakuru, Graft Megacity, Agbara, and many more. You have the opportunity to spread payment over 36 months while you take possession of your property. There is nothing as good as this. You can also get up to 70% of your total deposit as a loan and pay over 12 months, aimed to serve you better. Take advantage of the various Graft properties and estate projects. Your position is saved with us. Graft Properties, exceeding the standard.
Yes, I can feel it. Yeah. It's so cool. You are on the top of the world with Polista, home of electronics, and I know you will like it. So good, Polista, the star of life that brightens you. Quality products for life. Yes, I can feel it. So good, Polystar. Yes, I can feel it. So good, Polystar.
The joy of life is in the living. Polystar range of products like Polystar televisions, freezers, cookers, and Polystar washing machines. Polystar electronics, quality products for life.
Yes, I can feel it. So good, Polystar.
Welcome back. We're looking at the Supreme Court's decision on the 13th of December 2013. What is the implication and the effect on the war against corruption in Nigeria? What about precedent? That's what we're looking at. I have two lawyers in the house, Mr. G.T. Ogunye and Mr. Tunde Kloawale. They've taken their stance. You too can take your stance and send your comments to faceoff@channelstv.com or tweet at faceoff today or at Neota Egbe. Okay, gentlemen, here we are. You asked the first question.
Now, Mr. Ogunye, the EFCC or the prosecutor filed 68 count charges against the defendants at the Lagos High Court. When you look at those counts and all that, it really boiled down to three issues. The first is splitting, inflation of contract, splitting of contract, and then conspiracy. And after that, they were only able to sustain about 40 of those charges. I'll not even say one of those charges, which is splitting of contract with the intention to default. Would you consider that EFCC or the prosecutor has done a thorough job in the Bode George matter?
I think that the prosecution did a thorough job. Don't forget that initially, when the case opened, we had about 168 counts. Later on, the counts were reduced to about 68, and the court convicted the criminal defendants before that court of about 40 counts of those out of those 68 count charges, and the court accepted that the prosecution proved its case against the criminal defendant beyond a reasonable doubt in respect of those offenses that were charged. Right? You're right when you say that the charges, broadly speaking, could be categorized into three categories. However, it must be made very clear, even at the outset of this discussion and conversation, that the High Court never convicted the defendants of contract splitting. I would say that the notion that the accused persons, criminal defendants, were convicted of contract splitting is a distortion. The accused persons were convicted of abuse of office, contrary to Section 104 of the Criminal Code Law of Lagos State, and disobedience to a lawful order made by a constituted authority, contrary to Section 203 of the Criminal Code Law of Lagos State. Now, incidentally, there are analogous provisions in the Criminal Code Act, the principal act, even as we speak. So in other words, those provisions are not out of this world. They are extant criminal provisions in our criminal legislation. And so contract splitting was only a particular of the offense alleged. As you all know, there is, once in a charge, when you want to charge, there is a statement of an offense and there's a particular of an offense. It appears to me that what the Supreme Court has done is to elevate the particular of the offense charged to a statement of an offense, and then to conclude that that offense was not in existence at that stage. So I believe that the prosecution did a thorough job, and I think that the thoroughness of the job of the prosecution was confirmed in this instance in the Court of Appeal, where 3 heads are said to be better than 1.
Well, I am not too sure that the prosecution did a thorough job, as you have been asserting. I quite agree with you that when you look at what transpired in all the 3 tiers of the court, that this matter went through. It was not strictly for contract splitting. One of the charges is that they disobeyed, like you rightly identified, Section 203 of the Lagos State Criminal Code and all that. When was that law made? It was made in 1950.